Yo, it's your boy Tactics. Welcome again to the YouTube. I'm here again today, like I say, unfiltered, unedited. They could come across a bit of a live stream, these YouTubes, but today I'm going to basically take you through a remix that me and my good friend Zander Club did. Really good producer, mix and mastering engineer. We basically did a remix for Bad Boy Chiller Crew, Niki Lauda, that's just been released. And we did this together remotely. But I just wanted to take you over basically a bit of the processing. This is a more finished final version of the tune. I'll go through the processing on each channel, a little bit about the approach that we took, explain a few key things within the track. But yeah, basically we wanted to do the remix. Obviously, I produced the original one. If you haven't already, go check it out. Bad Boy Chiller Crew, Niki Lauda. But yeah, we feel like we just wanted to put a little remix out there, cheeky one. So, like I say, me and Alex, Zander Club, worked remotely, got this one done. And yeah, we're going to put it out. But it also gives you an insight, excuse me, also gives you kind of an insight into, what goes on in terms of making Bad Boy Chiller Crew tracks and sort of like my approach and my sort of thing that I want to do when I'm, because it's quite hard as well to a degree sometimes for me to make a second version of a song, because like all my original ideas are in the first one that I made, so it's like kind of hard for me then to do a remix sometimes, but I think we nailed this one. But yeah, without further ado, like I say, this is my first video were more just a bit of a chat, a behind the scenes, into, a rough round the edges project. This is more a finished, final track you'll see on screen. I'll open up this buses and there's quite a lot more elements to the track that are hidden. But yeah, basically, we just wanted to get this done, and I just wanted to say my first video was just like, it's just an idea as well. And I had a conversation about my YouTube channel with some of my friends, and I basically said that I wanted to resonate with young and up and coming producers, people that are sometimes struggling. Sometimes, like I said, feel they aren't good enough, feel like it's hard. It's you just need to take away from sort of like my message and the channel that I'm trying to promote here is that, it's hard for me sometimes, and people only see the successful side of it. So, sometimes I make absolutely garbage music, and it's just that you've just got to do that. You just got to keep reminding yourself that if you like doing it, that's what you're doing it for. I mean, it takes a long time as well to actually, sort of like do it for a job to get any sort of like financial return from it. But even if I didn't get any financial return, I mean, majority of some stuff I don't really get. Like it's not like life-changing money, and it's just like a normal job to a degree sometimes. So it's not, even if the money, like I've done it for that long now as well, and even if like money sort of like disappeared, I'd still be doing it. Do you know what I mean? So I've done it for, I've probably done this for 10 years without getting, any form of recognition and any sort of money. But I just enjoy making music. And I want, like I say, these young up-and-coming artists, producers, people that are interested in making music, that are maybe doing it in the bedroom on budget equipment, or sometimes don't think like it's good. And like, I want you to come to this channel, and I want you to be inspired, but also be able to like feel like you're connected to me as well, the way I come across. Like I say, I want it to be as much information as possible, spread as much insights as possible. I want to show you as much as what I do, because some stuff I do is people think, oh, it's amazing, or this and that, but I'll be honest, some of the stuff I do is just very simple. It's just very simple. And I see all these pro, YouTube tutorials, and they're really good, but I always feel like I can't really sometimes connect with them. And I'm not saying that they're not good, because I watch some, and if I'm looking at it from an educational purpose, then I'm just literally locked into what they're doing. I don't actually connect with the actual person delivering the actual video. So I'm like I say, I just want you to be able to come to my channel. We can have a laugh, we can have a chat. Anyone want to roast me? Anyone want to get in comments? Anyone wants to know anything? I'm happy to share any sort of advice, help, tips, tricks. If you can take something away from my videos, take something away, do you know what I mean? But the message kind of is like there'll be from this channel there'll be a number of different sort of like approaches. There's like a number of different ways that I do stuff. There's going to be a number of different videos. Like I'll show you tracks from scratch. I'll show you fully polished stuff. I'll show you, processing. I'll show you structure, arrangement. I'm going to show you DJing live streams. I'm going to show you my studio tour, stuff that we used, how I met Bad Boy Chiller Crew tracks, what's the recording process, you know what I mean? Getting the boys in, looking at doing some bits there, talking equipment, talking plugins, just absolutely everything music related. So, yeah, without further ado, and like I say, that's a bit more of an in-depth of what I'm trying to bring for this channel. So, like I say, I'm going to be putting load of music out on here, load of shorts, load of reels, load of live videos, load of content, and I hope that it doesn't just come across just like one sort of regimented thing. Like I say, I'm here for a laugh. I'm here to just also show you music. I'm here to also take comments, help spread, any sort of educational, tips, tricks, techniques, like all I say. But yeah, even showing breakdowns like this. So like I say, probably rambled on a bit there again. I'm known for it, but yeah, I'll get into this breakdown that myself and like I say, Alex Zander Club did. I'll go through the plugins, the processing, and yeah, hopefully you take something away from this, and you find it educational and some tips and tricks you can employ in your own stuff, or it might inspire someone to start actually being a music producer, which I'm all for as well. So if we go to this screen as well, you'll see the full screen here. You'll see these grayed out areas here. This area before the actual loop and after the actual loop. This is just the extended mix. So I'm just going to play it from here, which is basically the radio edit, what you would call. I'm going to open every channel up. I'll get rid of that because it's just a splice channel. Yep. So I'll open every channel up so you can see it there. It's 50 channels. Oh no, it's more than that. Sorry, tell a lie. Yeah, it's 50 channels, but you've got vocals there. As you can see, if I open it, you've got vocals here. You've got stuff here that we're going to do. But, yeah, I'll talk you through it anyway. So, starting from top. I'll play a track, actually, first. In all its glory. And then, yeah, you can see from there.
To make it louder, I rip the town up, I'm Niki Lauda. Got a big turbo to get the power up, I'll hit the dyno, let's see the outcome. Got my black leather gloves like I'm the driver. Pass me the keys, I'm about to wild out. Got a limousine tints and carbon fiber. Life goes now, all of my wits are hyper. Tryna lie low, I'm in the hypo. She's too big, and with the eye go. Pops and bands like it's a pipo. Treat these streets like Monte Carlo. Got a big boy butts fresh for the hydro. C5 bust down the side road. Big 5 this whip's a psycho. 6 to the road, it's hard to dress on. The RZR with the YXZ.
So yeah, you get the idea. So I think a good place to start is with the kick. Let's just start from top to bottom. So we've got the kick bus here. So in the kick bus, we basically have the kicks loaded into a sampler, which is a preset of Alex's. So basically that's loaded into a sampler. It's a kick there. Shout out Alex, that's his preset. Bit of EQ there, I'll show you it now. So basically just a bit of that 360 hertz taken down there. Probably a bit of a knock and a bit of attack there. A bit at top end. I felt like it were a bit too clicky. You can see it's a bit too clicky. So yeah, that's the kick. And obviously it's just in MIDI format on a MIDI roll. And these other kicks in here, they will be reverse kicks. So basically you just bounce the track up, bounce the MIDI out, and then you reverse it like that. And then this kick here is basically the same kick, but you take more of the top end off. So you get that initial, when it comes back in, you get that more feel of the kicks actually doing more. So it's just a technique that where you probably drop it a little bit in volume, a dB, if that, and then you just, like I say, just take a little bit off it, and then when it comes round to the kick dropping in, it's it feels like the kick's come back in, it's got more energy again, so it's like boom. Yeah, so that's the kick. On the kick bus, we have our bass, just a bit of compression there. So that's basically the kick in a nutshell. The drum bus. So let's start off. So you've got the hi-hat again. Sampler. There you go. Open hat, Vengeance, Essential House or something. Probably Electro House. Sample pack. Open hat there. Thrown in at sampler. Literally EQ, as you can see. Taking that off there. Bit of overdrive. The clap. Alex loves to have presets, whereas I do a lot of live auditioning, and just, I don't really, I went down a route before of having all presets and that, but I just didn't feel it worked for me. So same again, clap, sampler, loaded, there's a sample there, and again, a channel EQ, a little bit rolled off that top, it's probably just too much air or fizz up there, bottom end cut out. We've got a loop. You know, people may say, oh, I don't use loops or whatever. Loop's working good. Straight looping, nothing special. Bottom end taken out, rolled off about 300 hertz. Then we've got a couple of additional loops. This being this drum loop. Same again. Top end taken off a little bit. Probably just fizzing and a bit too airy. And then, yeah, rolled off out bottom end below 300 again. Just note to clash with kick. Then you've got a ride in there, which is on its own. EQ, everything out, you know, below 3000. Tremolo, basically making it move from side to side to a degree. It just helps pick the... Stuff like that, you don't hear it in track. It's more, it just feels like it's picking the pace up a little bit. I'm looking at my phone there. I don't know what I call, but yeah. So basically, it feels like when you've got it in. I'll show you now. So drum bus, kick bus there. It's very, very subtle, but it's just like it feels like the track's faster than it actually is. So yeah, rides in there, just literally going. Constantly. And yeah, so what else have we got going on? There's a crash in there. Again, a crash in the sampler. Drum loop. Yeah. Snare, which will be a snare roll, which is over here. Again, snare. Literally, look, in there. Snare 13. Vintage verb on that. So it's just... That's just, like I say, MIDI as well. So that's the drums in essence. We've got a couple of little samples here in drums like effects. Sorry. That are reverse drums and scratches which go. So yeah, they add to like transitions. So if you go into here, I'll just, I will just solo the kick and the drums and then show you how it would transition from this part using them effects into the next part. Yeah. Quite simple, and like I say, in the drum bus, a distressor, just doing a bit of compression there, and then you've got on the kick bus, like I say, R bass. So in the drum bus, effectively, on the drum buses, you've got one compressor. That is all you've got. So there's no mad EQ going on. There's no surgical stuff. You know, it's good sample selection, good choice of samples and good selection, making it work. The kick's got, you know, our bass on, it should really be mono, but yeah. Like I say, this is just getting into it. It's more finished now, so the bass, we're going to the bass bus, which is this. I'll play this here actually. So, like I say, this has a bit more processing on. As always, shout out to Paul Cyril, a load of sick samples and presets. So yeah, I'll just play you the riff anyway. Show you on the piano roll. Pretty sure people will recognise or know that. But yeah, go through that. Basically a bit of EQ, basically making space at the bottom end for the sub bass and the kick. You've got Saturn here, adding a bit of saturation on this sort of bandwidth here. Our bass. You've got Spectre again, adding some more saturation to the like mids here. You've got OTT doing a bit of drive. You can't really turn this depth too far, but if I take it off, it just adds a little. It's just sick. It's basically if you want to bring stuff out, if you want to bring instruments out more, but you've got to be careful with depth. I see a few videos, you basically just don't go above like 25%. That's all you really need to worry about is the depth knob, really. Kickstart, which is obviously side chained to the bus, the kick. Select audio, and then obviously select how much you want. You can also use the band down here to basically set it at certain frequencies. A bit of vintage verb there, which is a reverb, just wet there, obviously your mix. And your Pro Q4, which is basically doing a bit of side processing. It's just cutting the lows out. So yeah, that's that. And then we layer that, not label. We label that again, layer with that with a sub bass, and you just want that really, really sub harmonics down there. So yeah, that's that. Again, EQ, what I was just saying there, overdrive, a little bit of overdrive, just 6 dB drive, and then you put that together, take it out with the bass, and then you play that with the drums that we had, and then bring the kick in. Vibes. See, and actually in that section there, there's Kane, which these are mixed stems, so I don't need to do any processing on these to a degree, because they've already been mixed, so I've just exported the mixed stems in. If I wanted a certain effect, then I would do, but if you just put that in now, because in this section there, as you can see, there's no else other than a down lifter, which is an effect.
Big straight fight to make it louder. I rip the town up, I'm Niki Lauda. Got a big turbo to get the power up.
So yeah, that's that sort of section covered. I'm going to go into lead buses here. So basically, let's just solo these. So we'll go through them one by one. Playing that same melody. Yep, and then we've got this whoop sound, which I'm pretty sure people have heard throughout music. Sort of like a Fat Man Scoop style thing. And then again, the high string, just holding that there. But if you take away from the string, look, oh, there's not even an EQ on it. Which, again, good housekeeping, I'd just do sort of like that. The whoop, it's got vintage verb on it, and that's it. You know, I ain't even EQ'd it, so I could just, again, just to make sure, bring a little bit of presence out in top end. It's not much that. Probably do a little bit more. But yeah, and then the DJ Jean sample sort of thing. Again, shout out Cyril. Organ, DJ Jean. get ready for the launch. So what have I got going on there? Channel EQ. Probably didn't want that low mids because I thought in the bass it'll probably maybe I wanted that other to be more prominent than just this top end to complement. So I might do a bit of that. Overdrive again. Literally 6 dB a drive, 5.5, whatever you want to say. Saturation. So you can set the bandwidths, like I say, and then you basically just put the drive up a little bit just to give that saturation to that specific bandwidth. Kickstart there, I've just got it in sync here, 1/4, so it's doing it instead of it doing it all to the kick. And again, a vintage verb, a little bit of a reverb on that. So when you put that, let's just put the lead bus. What have we got on the lead bus? Nothing. There's no processing on the lead bus. So yeah, again, making sure samples work and the right samples means you have to do less. And this is the thing that I don't want you to see 200 plugins on a channel, because if you're having to put 200 plugins on the channel to make it work, it's probably the wrong sample from start, which everyone knows is a common thing, what everyone says, you know, in the production world. But if we put this with this, let's bring in the whoops, the high string, just for tension. Let's just take that to there for now. Let's bring the kicks and the drums in. And like I say, you know, there's not much going on here. Like I say, vocal now. We've got some effects, so I mean, that's really in it, to be fair, in the track. I mean, in this section here, we have got like sections where we're building up here. So we've got this almond loop, which I'm sure very low with filtering up, and then we've got some effects down here, which all these, like I say, that's got H delay on it, no EQ. Again, this channel H delay. This has got tremolo and vintage verb. I've shown you them, tremolo, vintage verb. This is just a riser it's actually got no EQ on it, nothing on the channel strip. Uplifter again, note on there. So yeah, uplifter, note on there, nothing. I have panned, if you can see, these left, rights. So yeah, me and Alex have gone through this, and when we were doing it together, you know, we make all these decisions. You know, I chip in and say we need to do this, he does this. You know, it's a very collaborative, back and forth, collective effort. So I'll show you this sort of build here so you can get an idea of it. So let's just play it in the actual track. So this is obviously the breakdown. And then again, then we start building now. Break. So yeah, that is really the remix as a whole. I will talk through the master bus. Shout out, you know, Alex on this. This obviously we've done a few amendments. He'll tell you there's a few amendments gone into this, but yeah. So basically, we normally start out with a soothe, but we've bypassed it here. We felt like it didn't add what we needed to. But basically, you got some presets in here called this is great. Song's even greater, and you just turn the depth here. But I also like there's a mastering advance, and then there's mastering advanced, Bear with me. The preset that I like is where are we? I'm sure it's in mastering. Let me have a look. Miscellaneous. No. I'm sure it is in mastering. Let me just have a look. Mastering advanced. No, it's not. So let me have a look quickly. So there you go. It's in vocals. So no, it's not. It's not. Anyway, there's one in there called Balanced for the Grammys, I think it is. So it's in somewhere that I like to use. I'm definitely going to find it for you so I can tell you. But basically, yeah, Soothe basically removes resonances and stuff, and basically just takes out any sort of like frequencies that are quite harsh. But it's good. But like I say, you just want to use it quite subtly as well. There it is. It is in mastering. I've just missed it. What an idiot. So yeah, if you go in mastering, there's a couple of settings I like. This setting I like here, balance to the Grammy Awards. I like that. And then there's one called This Song's Great. Help me clean it up a little more. This song's great. This song's even greater. Is even greater. Yeah. These two I like, these two. So they're right next to each other. I'm a bit skew with that one. Anyways, yeah, so we bypassed it. We didn't feel like it needed it on this. So then we're going to, if you haven't got SSLs, this is a good subscription one to actually get. Yeah, SSL bundle. I think they do it in conjunction now with Slate. But yeah, basically this is like it's going through a transformer. Pro Q4 is basically removing some of the low frequencies in the sides, a little boost here and there. That's normally set all the time. What we do go into here is the compressor. You never really want to be you just want to be just about 3 dB. Just like basically to glue the track together. Spectre, I love Spectre by Waves Factory. Really good plugin. The track spacer one as well, sick. But basically, yeah, this it adds like a saturation, but sometimes I always find myself like just doing little things like giving it a little bump down in bottom end, and it just adds a nice warm bottom end for me. So I like this. So yeah, I just always have that little bump down there. Imager, so basically this is the bandwidth. You set the bandwidth here, and then you can set the stereo spread, the imaging. Maximizer, I hadn't really started using. I've only just started using this. I've noticed that a lot of engineers, mixing mastering engineers, definitely, they use the Pro L2, but a lot of them are using Ozone as well. So yeah, IRCs. If you want to see these, the settings, I think it's somewhat like intelligent, release controlled or something like that, balanced. But yeah, basically going into that to make the track louder and basically take it into the next stage, which I'd go into the inflator. So I go into the inflator by about just over to, try to get just in between 1 and 2 dB going into inflator. Obviously, I've put the input up here to go in, and then I'll clip it so it basically clips the top of the audio. But you've got to be careful using clippers and limiters and stuff. It's just you've got to know. But yeah, I basically clip that so when it goes out now, it's going out, but it's going out at -2 dB. Let's just round that off my ADHD. So then we're going at limiter. So when you're going at limiter, we just basically touching top at limiter there. And like I said, do you know what I mean? There's probably professional mixing and mastering engineers out there that, will tell me I'm using that wrong or this wrong and that wrong. This works for me, and if you want a song that's ready for a nightclub or, even ready for DSPs or whatever, and you haven't got that budget, so to speak, to pay for a mix and mastering engineer, which a lot of us aren't, and they all come at different prices, just having that approach for me and knowing what I know, like, that's good enough for me. I know that that's at a level that I can put that out, and it'll stand the test of time. You can put that on in a nightclub, you can play it, in any festival or show. It can go on DSPs. It'll do absolutely fine. So yeah, this is just a little insight out of me and my pal Alex, Zander Club made Bad Boy Chiller Crew Niki Lauda, our remix. So yeah, all in all, I think that's a bit more of an informative video, a bit more educational into this terms, into sort of like the insights of, how I'm bussing stuff, how I'm grouping stuff, what sort of things I'm doing processing wise, a bit of mastering chain, and like I say, if you can take anything from this, just like, this is one that we worked on collectively. If you're on there and you're starting out as a music producer, artist, whatever it may be, collaborate with people, work with people. I've learned a lot of stuff from some really good, mixing, mastering engineers, producers, songwriters, lyricists, people, just loads. So if you can, try and expand your library by connecting with other artists, other people, other producers, working with as many people as possible. I think collaborative is the best way to go to learn stuff. I've learned, like I say, loads. And you're still learning. Technology's changing all the time. So yeah, I feel like that's a good place to end. I hope you're enjoying what the YouTube's bringing. I enjoy this sort of stuff as well. So yeah, if you want, like I say, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll help me out massively on this journey. If you haven't listened to my music, tactics, if you haven't checked Bad Boy Chiller Crew out, make sure you check Bad Boy Chiller Crew out, Niki Lauda, and also Zander Club as well, Alex Powell, one of my good friends. I'm also going to be doing a few writing sessions with a few people, getting other producers in here, other artists, trying to basically get in here with Bad Boy Chiller Crew as much as possible, show you how I break down all their music. And what goes on into recording them, the processing around making their music. But yeah, all in all, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And like I say, subscribe to the YouTube if you can, and add me on Instagram, Tactics Producer. Respect.
When I was set, man, no.